Let's go back 16, 17. What was, growing up, some of your personal biggest challenges as a teenage lad in Midlands?
Yeah.
Right. What was some of your biggest challenges, which are kind of some of the things what drive you today?
Yeah.
What are they?
I think my challenges, I wasn't good academically. So my teachers, most of my school teachers kind of wrote me off, really. And I think...
Was it because you wasn't good, or was it because you didn't try?
I think it was both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was both. I think I didn't try because I knew I wasn't that good. And in me, in fact, that's one of the things, in me there was greatness. And because I knew I wasn't great academically, I knew I wasn't going to be the best, I then thought, what's the point of even trying? And then I was just looked at as a loser.
Yeah.
Whereas in me somewhere, and I think this is the case of so many, when I go to schools now, I've even gone back to my old
Have
school.
you?
Yeah, and I've ran assemblies and stuff. And now when I see the kids...
Look at me now, miss. Look.
But they're great.
Yeah,
you know?
of
I mean, you
course.
can always get bitter and focus on the few people.
But everybody does. But
Yeah.
teachers genuinely care.
Yeah, they do.
They don't earn a lot of money,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't do what they do. There might be 1% of teachers who couldn't do anything else,
Yeah.
but most teachers could go and get a different job and earn
Yeah.
a lot more money.
Yeah,
So
I think I just wasn't understood, you know. But now when I go back to schools and stuff, and I see that one kid who's kind of on their own, maybe a bit of a mischievous,
Yeah, got you.
short attention span, I actually sometimes see greatness in that kid.
you have to.
Yeah, so I think that was a struggle. And then also, I went to a very small Christian school, and we
Secondary?
all through from
Okay.
the age of 6 to 16.
Okay, got you.
And there was like literally 100 people in the whole school.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tiny. And we wore obviously different colour uniform. So when I was coming home, I had like an hour and a half, multiple bus journeys and stuff to get home.
Wow.
Went to school in Warsaw, and the other school kids would pick on me because I
know the area well.
You know Warsaw
I've
well,
done
right?
quite a lot of schools around that area.
They'd pick on me because I wore a different colour uniform, which I actually used to enjoy because I enjoyed fighting. So I used to almost like, everyone else in my school would take their blazers off, take their tie off and walk home. I would make a thing of wearing my blazer because I almost liked that.
Where does that come from, though?
I think it was the only thing I was good at in school. I was good in that setting. I was like, I can fight and I can. Whereas academically, I'm not good. So I thought, well, actually,
It was something, yeah.
it was something I was good at.
Interesting. What was your parents' thoughts about your relationship with school?
So my parents split up when I was 7,
Okay.
and
How did that affect you?
It wasn't a good split.
My
up.
parents split up around the same time.
It
as
wasn't
well.
a good split up because, you know, they were cussing each other out and stuff. My dad for years for saying.
Was
bad
they
stuff
using
about
you
my
as
mom.
well? Like,
I don't know, but I wouldn't like to say bad stuff about.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I love my mom. I love my dad to bits. But it was. I'll just say it was a nasty,
Difficult time.
It was a nasty split up, and what did they think? My dad didn't really get involved at all with school. I used to see him regularly. My mom would almost side with me and would just be like, oh, you know, I remember there was one school teacher who called my mum in and said that I was dealing drugs in the school. I wasn't selling drugs. What I was doing is I was selling little magic tricks. I was buying them off my dad's market because he was a magician. He had a market.
Wow. And
And I was buying them off my dad, wholesale, and then I was selling them retail to my mates at school. But the teachers were like, oh, I think he's selling drugs. So they called my mum in, but she was like, no, he's not selling drugs.
I don't think he is anyway.
Yeah. Even the banks thought I was selling drugs. I used to I had a lot of paper rounds. I used to make a lot of money doing entrepreneurial
so
stuff.
how old was you around then?
Like 15.
15. So okay. So you was quite not money driven, but
I was good at it.
you controlled certain things. You
I
thought,
was
okay,
good
I'm
at
not
it.
so good in school, but I can control this area. I
Yeah.
want freedom. I want money, and I
Yeah.
want to do what I want to do. And you said you was good at it, so
Yeah.
you did more of that type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But then the banks asked me direct, sat me down, where are you getting this money from? I said, oh, I'm washing cars, I'm selling magic tricks, I'm doing paper rounds. And they were
And
like,
drugs.
drugs. I know, I've never taken
joking.
or sold drugs. But yeah, it's just an interest in being an entrepreneur in school. I think that schools, and this would be an interesting one to see what you think, because the education system does not teach money.
No.
It's not in there. And not only that, but the whole message around money and business, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know what... And my mom and dad are both entrepreneurial. They're self-employed. I thought you either work for someone or you work for yourself. I never understood the idea of being a business owner and having staff or being an investor and getting passive income. Like, that was something completely foreign to me. And it was not in school. So a kid that's naturally got that entrepreneurial flair, I feel like needs to be encouraged in schools rather than it being clamped out. Schools often teach compliance rather than thinking outside the box. So I'm really passionate about schools, and that's why I respect what you do so much.
And I think, from my experience, it all depends on the school.
Yeah.
All depends on the trust, who owns the school, what their values are.
It does, but the curriculums...
And what they're trying to do. But there are some schools who have put money and funding behind students going out and trying to learn different things, and they would probably want to teach more money. But at the same time, it comes from top down, right? Ofsted, it comes down. There's so many restrictions.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Of course, it depends on the school. And there's a lot of amazing teachers out there and amazing schools out there. But... you can't have it in the curriculum. No. Like you said, Ofsted and that. So you're almost banned from teaching.
You are. That's exactly
money.
it.
And I think that it's ludicrous that you would teach people... What do you learn in school? In school, you learn how to get good grades to then get a good job. And what's the point of a job? To get money. Well, why not just skip all that and teach them money straight?
Yeah. To be fair, I do talk quite a lot about money. So you can just go into any classroom and where do you want to be in 10 years?
Yeah, it's good.
Sir, I want to be rich. But it's like, okay, what are you doing today? What's happening? And
see, the drive's there, right there.
Yeah.
Just kids, what do you want to do? I want to be a famous YouTuber. I want to be rich. I want to be a businessman.
But there is a difference, though, right? So they got those expectations.
Yeah.
And then they got Champions League expectations, but then they got Sunday League work ethic, planning and preparation. Yeah. So then they're 15, 16. They're still not going out doing what you was doing when you was 15, 16. So sometimes we got to teach them the tools and the strategies and the work ethic still. Because as you know for a fact, you ain't going to just walk into millions. You're not going to just walk into a house like this. It takes time. It takes effort.
Agreed.
And you've been doing it for 15 odd years, at least kind of creating you. The character, everything you need, the work ethic, the consistency.
Yeah, you do.
So that's the trick. Some of them, yes, you've got people like yourself who are putting in the work, they're young and you can see it. But then you've got others who want more for doing less.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, my biggest challenge, especially in my job, is trying to show them, this is your expectations, this is what you're doing. There's a disconnect.
Yeah.
How can we bring that together?
Yeah. I mean, I think that you say to the kid, what do you want to achieve in life? What's your dreams? I want to be rich. I want this. I want that. Great. How are you going to get there? How are you going to... What's the plan?
Yeah, I got you.
And then in part of that plan, work out a plan. And then in part of that plan, it's going to be, okay, well, we need to work hard. We need to graft. We need to add value.
Why is setting goals and a plan important then?
Well, setting goals and a plan is important because it's like trying to play football without knowing that you need to, without knowing the objective of the game. If you don't know that you need to kick the ball in the net, you just run around, and that's what people do. That was me at school. Yeah. You know, running around, people just run around aimlessly. You need to have a goal.
I like that, because that's one. I always talk about, you can't be disciplined if you do not have a plan. And it's all about goal setting. I say you never want to be one of these adults who spend more time planning a holiday than they do their own lives.
That's nearly everybody.
Literally everybody.
I'm planning a wedding, but not planning a marriage.
Oh, explain.
So people spend more time planning the wedding than they do plan the actual marriage, i.e., the relationship, how things are going to go.
Wow, that's strong. You used that one before, right?
Dude, maybe. I don't recall ever saying that before.
Dive into that more, please. Actually, just dive into that whole concept a bit more, because I think it's so important.
Yeah.
Because I got married 2 years ago, and it's true, the amount of effort and everything what goes into just getting married, by the wedding, you don't really think about after.
I think it's also about what expectations of what people think and what people care about. People care about your wedding day. Everyone wants, nice wedding day, because that's other people. But actually, it's about saying, how do I create my life?
Yeah. And
I think people spend their whole lives trying to be liked, trying to please their parents, trying to please people. Actually saying, what are the fundamentals for me? And that's not selfish, because if you're only able to help people if you help yourself first. And I think that planning the wedding day It's about perceptions. It's about what people think. It's about the photographs. It's about all this stuff. And people plan the wedding day, but don't plan the actual marriage. You know, and it's the same with everything. People plan the baby shower rather than the actual and the christening, rather than how to bring up the kid.
That's fascinating. What has been creating your training programs, building your property portfolio? What has been some of the biggest challenges you have faced on that process?
So are you talking just strictly my training company or just the business in general?
Just throughout your life, because you're 29 years now. Say when you first started, say you got out of school.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced
Yeah.
trying to do your own thing?
I think probably the biggest challenges I've faced, there's been so many, having to have patience. That sometimes there are things that just do take time. And sometimes that is part of the process. If you've got to go from here to Edinburgh in the car, it's a 9-hour journey. That's it. And in the same way, you want to lose weight.
I like that.
It's a journey. You want to become a millionaire. It's a journey.
I like
and as
that.
entrepreneurs, we want things fast. So I think that for me is sometimes a challenge because I just want things immediately. But it's about having, and that's a good thing. Being impatient is a good thing as long as you're aware of it and you use it as a good thing. So I think that's one thing. I think another thing is being misunderstood. It's very easy as an entrepreneur. And as
I think you're massively misunderstood as well. From everything I've seen. That's why I wanted this interview today as well, is because people criticize you a lot, but all you do is keep bouncing back.
Yeah.
You keep coming back. You're so resilient, and you don't give you don't give the people the time of day or the energy they want, and you use it to your advantage. And I think that's absolutely unreal, right? Because a teenager might not get enough likes on their picture, so they delete it.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody might want to start a business, but they care what their mum thinks, so they're not going to do it. Right. And then here's people who are actively trying to go out and destroy you, and you just use it. It's like adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
And you just keep bouncing back, and I have to admire it. Right. I just think it's absolutely insane. Where does that come from, right? Where does that come from? Because sometimes people are going to take it personal, but it doesn't seem like you do. It's like you can disconnect it and keep moving forward. Where does that come from?
I think all my life I've been misunderstood. Going back to at school, and I'm quite okay with that. And I'm also quite okay with not being liked as well.
Okay.
Most people are going to go back to the wedding day. Why do they prepare for the wedding but not the marriage? It's because the wedding day, everyone can see that, and it's for other people.
You're popular.
Yeah, they want to be popular, want to be liked. And even in my training business, I care about the goal. So my training company, the goal is to see people's lives and finances revolutionized. That's the goal. The goal is not for me to be liked. So I think it's just staying focused and pressed on for the goal. Also my faith as well. I've got a strong faith. And I think for me, that's also really, really important and fundamental. But yeah, I do bounce back, and not even bounce back because I don't even feel like I got knocked down. I'm just like,
I know, it's
crazy. It's water off a duck's back for me. It just bounces off me. I don't bounce. That bounces. It just bounces off me.
Is that 100% real though?
That's 100% real.
Because I'll be honest, if I had as much sometimes criticism you got, I'm quite sensitive.
Yeah. Despite
my upbringing, despite being kind of quite rough when I was little, I love fighting as well, but I'm still quite sensitive.
Yeah. You ask my wife. I'm very, very cool, and it does not.
That's amazing.
It doesn't. I mean, listen. Does it ever like there's a line. Sometimes if people really overstep the line, there's a line. You know, where things are really unjust, or it's like that's really not right. People bringing my family into stuff, and that's not cool. But getting criticised and stuff online is just part and parcel of it.
Process.
That's part of the process.
Yeah.
You can't take the heat. You better get out of the kitchen. And that's it. Especially, here's the thing, right, Cam? I'm trying to change the way people think. I'm trying to open people up into a whole new world of thinking around finance and around what they can achieve. There's not one person in the whole of history that's changed the way people think on the planet that has not been ridiculed.
Wow.
It just isn't.
Explain. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, you name one person that's left the world better than they found it. That's a legend. You name one person: Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Jesus. I mean, they crucified Jesus. So, how can you expect to be a pioneer for something, be a business leader, and be changing the way people think and not be ridiculed. It's not going to happen.
That's crazy.